Cool. And welcome to St. George's Park for Women's Super League. So the next fixture that we have here on Court 1, we have Leicester White Tigers against Bedford Mighty Eagles. So Bedford White Eagles currently sitting top of the league on 27 points, and Leicester White Tigers currently sitting fourth on 21 points. But White Tigers really have an opportunity today to get into the medal positions. They're currently level with Leamington Spartans on points, so they'll be looking to get at least a number of points from this game today, because set difference will really play into it by the end of the day. And then obviously for Bedford, they are 3 points clear at the top, and they've had one win already today, but essentially ensuring that they get a win here, I think, guarantees them the title, so they'll be looking to do that. Last time the two teams played, it was 13-7 to Bedford Mighty Eagles, so a fairly close game last time. So we'll see what today's game has in store for us. Although we are currently waiting on another referee from Spartans before we can start. So there we go. We now have 4 referees from Spartans, so we can begin. So White Tigers only sending 2 runners, so Bedford get the first ball. First attack coming from Town at Baines, but dodges out of the way. Bedford getting quite a nice high line there, lots of aggression. And then Bruce throwing a kind of loose ball there at Gower. She's very good at getting out of the way up court. Gives 4 balls to Bedford. 2-ball attack, misses Soden. Nice timing though. So still level. Single ball from Bruce. And then this time, Bacon releasing up court at Gower does get the hit. And the ball comes back, so Tigers with 2 balls still. 3-ball attack coming from Bedford now. And a lovely hit from Bonsignori onto Baines. So we are now level. We've played for 1 minute. And then a lovely pre-throw hit there from Bonsignori, taking out Bacon on the approach. So Tigers down by 1. Oh, and then a 2-ball throw. Josiah just slightly ahead of Town there, just allowing him to take the catch, but it was a very good catch, nice and low. So Tigers up by 1 player now. About halfway through the game. Single ball attack from Town. Rose manages to dodge it. A lot of aggression from Bonsignori. Almost drops the ball over the line, but recovers it. So 3 balls from Tigers. Bedford's holding the high line again, but retreating back. Single ball through. Bonsignori really wanted the catch there, but couldn't get it. And then a nice no-look, but luckily just misses Baines. So we've got 50 seconds left. Three balls to Bedford. Coming up. And nice delayed 2-ball attack there from Rudland and Bonsignori, taking out Baines. So we're all level now with only 25 seconds left to play of this set. 2-ball attack, though, in retaliation from Tigers, takes out Rudland. So Tigers up by 1. 12 seconds left. 2-ball attack, doesn't find a target. It gives 4 balls to Tigers, who hold. But Town giving a lot of pressure. She releases, and then it is time. So Tigers did not need to throw at the end. So Tigers taking the first set in this game. Go again. Bedford winning the middle ball. They come up. Single from Bonsignori. Put Bruce out of the way. And then a lot of pressure from Hems, but electing not to throw the counter. But Bedford holding that high line again, but it's really not playing out for Tigers at this point. And then a lovely catch there by Bonsignori on Bacon. And then a couple of releases back and forth, but no hits made. So Bedford, one player up at this point, coming forward with 3 balls. Single release high above Baines. Oh, but it does look like she did get hit, so just clips her. So yeah, must have just clipped the top of her head. So Tigers down by 2 now. We're very early on in this set. There's still over 2 minutes left to play, so plenty of time to turn the game around. Block from Soden. Gives 4 balls to Tigers. A lot of pressure from Gower. And she pre-throws, doesn't get the hit, and then a disjointed two singles there from Rose and Hems, but does manage to get the hit. So just one player in it now. Single from Soden. Bonsignori very quick up, but Bruce, lovely, manages to delay her throw just a fraction just to get Bonsignori as she's coming down on her jump. Single from Town, retaliation by Hems. No hits. And then a double counter, lovely there from Gower and Josiah. Just a little bit of a nod of the head between the two of them that, to get the communication that it was on, and they get the hit on Soden. So Tigers down by 1 player, single from Hems, and then a retaliation from Josiah. He's blocked by Bruce, but into her foot. So there's 1 minute left of the game. Tigers down by 2. So they really need something here. Oh. So yeah, a high ball from Town. It goes up. Oh, there was a catch from Hems, I believe. So Bacon in, but Rose out. But then also a catch from Gower. So 30 seconds left. Tigers with some ground to make up, but they do get a nice hit. Delay there from Bacon. Manages to get past Gower's block. So 1 ball on the Tigers side. Time has been paused, potentially. Yeah, time was paused. So I think there's about 20 seconds left. 3 ball. Hit called on Bacon, just clipping the bottom of her shoes. So really not a lot of time left on the clock. But a nice hit from Hems at the end, but unfortunately time is now out. She hasn't got enough time left to make up any further points. So second set goes to Bedford Mighty Eagles. So the game is now 2-2. So single start from Bonsignori, but just between Tigers players, so no hits made there. So yeah, quick release from Josiah at Hems as she's coming up, but no hit. And the throw from Tigers also fails to make a hit. Single from Gower, then good double counter ultimately from Hems and Bacon. Does give away 4, but does take out Town. So Tigers up by 1. 2 ball attack, 3 ball attack, I think, there from Bedford Mighty Eagles. So no hits made and gives Tigers 4. Double throw takes out Bedford. So Tigers up by 2 players now. Or 3 players. Tigers up by 3 players. Oh, yeah, Hems just throwing that counter attack slightly too high, straight into the arms of Josiah, who takes the catch. And then another catch from Bonsignori. She loves those up-court catches, very good at them. So all of a sudden, we've gone from 3 players up for Tigers to being 1 player down, although Town is hit out in that exchange, so it is now level. A lot of pressure from Bonsignori, but throws just past Soden. Gives 3 balls to Tigers. Single from Soden, misses Gower, and then the retaliation from Gower, misses Baines. Retaliation back again, but also a miss. So lots of balls flying, but neither side managing to find the target. Double throw from Tigers, doesn't manage to make a target. 3 balls still to Tigers. Single from Bruce. Just the side of desire. No dodging required, so there's 30 seconds left. Double attack from Bedford, doesn't manage to find a target. 20 seconds left, so 1 hit really makes the difference in this set from either side. Single, and it's a catch! Lovely, lovely chasing of that ball by Rudland there, taking the catch off Soden. So there's 8 seconds left. Bedford just going to throw nice and safe. They throw a high one at Baines, but she can't keep hold of it. And then Bruce and Rose run up to try and do something, but there's just not enough time left on the clock. So, Bedford now ahead for the first time in this set. So just baking out in that attack. So there was a throw at Town, but blocked. And another throw from Town high over Baines' head. So 3 balls to Tigers. They're already 1 player down in this set. Oh, and lovely catch by Soden on Gower's retaliation. Bruce was there to make the retaliation shot on Gower, but not required, already out. So we switched, and Tigers now up by 1 player. So 3 balls to Bedford. Nice block from Hems. Single. Straight at Town's ball, so easily blocked. And then 4 balls to Tigers now. So they come up with the 3 because the 4th is a bit delayed. They go for the 2-ball attack, but nicely dodged. Halfway through the set. 3-ball attack coming from Bedford. Single from Bonsignori. Then Tigers electing not to go for the retaliation. Only open target was Bonsignori, and we know how much she likes to make a catch up in that neutral zone. So, and then interesting there, Bonsignori drops the ball. Really looks at risk there, but Tigers don't choose to switch targets and choose to throw at the right wing instead. And then a trade. Oh no, just Bacon out. So I think must have been hit before she released at Bonsignori there. So. Tigers now level. On a lovely hit from Bedford Mighty Eagles, taking out Baines. Lovely cross just at her feet. She's a very good catch for his Baines, and that's a very good way of getting her out and minimizing that catch risk. So, Tigers now down by 1, and there's 15 seconds left on the clock, so they really need a hit here. So, yep, so they risk the 2-ball attack, they get the hit on Rudland, but it does mean there's a double counter attack. It goes for different targets, takes out Hems, but also Bonsignori and Town both out in that exchange. So there's now one player up for Tigers, and they take the set. So yeah, really big change there at the end. Tigers taking a really big risk, releasing 2 balls from the 3. Obviously, that does put you in danger because the other team will usually double counter you back, but just with Tigers standing their ground there, managing to take out some of the Bedford Mighty Eagles players, and ultimately the set goes to Tigers. So it's now 4-4. This should be a short set. 1 minute 18 is the call from referee Macaulay. And a lovely catch from Soden, catching Bonsignori again. Just a little tiny hop to the side, makes a lovely catch there. So Tigers up by 1, then double throw from Tigers, but at different players, I believe. Didn't make a hit. And then a lovely hit from Hems on Rudland, but Bacon also out in that exchange. So Tigers now up by 1. And then Hems being hit there by Town. So Tigers are even now, even 4-4, about 35 seconds left on the clock. Single from Soden. And then a retaliation from both Bruce and Rose at Gower. Don't get the hit, but give away possession. So 4 balls now to Bedford Mighty Eagles with about 20 seconds left on the clock. And they double a cat at Baines again, once again doing the double cross at her ankles. Found it very difficult. And then the calls from Tigers to get Bruce to throw. She does throw, throws quite late. And then Soden goes for the catch, but there's very little time on the clock. It looks like this set is over, and it is. So a little bit messy there at the end for Tigers, but well deserved and well held together there for Bedford Mighty Eagles to take them 6-4 into halftime. So it looks like both sides ready to go here now in the second half. So Bedford Mighty Eagles leading 6-4 against Leicester White Tigers. Both sides playing really well in this game, and it's really come down to a few catches either side. So for either side, really want to tighten up those releases, particularly those kind of fast releases up court. They're kind of getting caught out a little bit there. So if either side can tighten that up, I think they'll ultimately take the game. But momentum does feel slightly to be with Bedford going into the second half. So see if they can capitalise on that and take the first set of the game. But obviously if White Tigers can take the first set, that's much better because it'll bring them back level in this. So yeah, another single from Bonsignori there at the start, but no hits. So all level. Yeah, Bedford by Eagles really putting a lot of pressure on at the wings here, but it's really not bothering Tigers at all as they're coming up court. But lovely hold there from Gower, putting a little bit of pressure, does stop the counter from Tigers. Single from Soden. And then, yeah, nice. So this time, Bonsignori managing to dodge out of the way of Bacon, then gets the hit. Then Town throws the catch at Hems, and then Josiah punishes and takes out Hems. So we're still level after the exchange. Play 3 has been called for Bedford Mighty Eagles. They do throw 3 and they get 2 hits. So looks like 2 hits there on Bacon and Soden. So Bedford Mighty Eagles now up by 2 players. And again, Gower managing to dodge out of the way of Bruce's pre-throw there as she ran up court. And then a catch by Davies, catching out Bruce. It was a fairly slow pre-throw there, but nicely taken by Davies. Single from Rose, and then the double counter comes. Bonsignori out, but also does take out Mackins. Single, so just Rose left in now for Tigers. There's over a minute on the clock, so plenty of time to do something, but she does have possession, so she's got to throw. She does at Gower, but then a quick throw from Gower, and then the supporting throw there from Town, because the potential for Gower, because that ball did go up high into the air, that Rose could have taken the catch, but the nice throw afterwards by Town really ensured that Rose couldn't go and get that ball, but she'd been hit by 2. So Bedford taking that first set of the second half, so they're now up 8-4. So Tigers really need to take this next set, otherwise it's going to start, the gap is going to start to become a bit insurmountable. So 4 balls to Tigers, they come up for the attack. They throw 3 very disjointed balls there. And Rudlin takes the catch and dodges the other 2. So timing just a bit all over the place, and then Town throws a single at Rose. I think she'd usually take that kind of catch, but drops it to that occasion. So it does feel a little bit more sloppy from White Tigers at this point. They just need to regroup and make sure they're playing together nicely. But a nice, a 2-ball attack. Rudlin maybe caught a little bit fishing there. But Bedford's still up by 2. So a single from Tigers, and then a very high ball from Town. Maybe looking to just get it past Bruce and not necessarily going for the hit. Single, ooh, Mackins at Davis. Really thinks about going for that catch, but luckily does decide against it. So Bedford's still up by 2. About 1:20 left on the clock. Another single from Tigers. They're not getting a lot of joy from the singles at the moment. They're not managing to make a lot of hits, but it might mean they have to change strategy, put some more 2 balls in there, but that is very risky. But nicely, Bonsignori does give them 4, which will now allow them to go for that 2-ball attack. So Josiah gets the pre-throw off, taking out Mackings, and then Bruce just throws that ball too high, and it's nicely catchable for Josiah there, who takes it. So just Soden left in against now 5 Bedford Mighty Eagle players. She managed to get the hit on Town. But with 40 seconds left and the majority of possession, There's a lot for her to do here. Throws a single at Gower, blocked away. Soden still with 3, has to throw another one. Elects to throw it at Josiah, who blocks it back. Then throws it near Bonsignori, but she goes for the scoop catch. Slightly risky, as you can see, with a little giggle, but also with the amount of time that was left on the clock, even if she hadn't have made that catch, it seems like it probably wouldn't have had that much effect on the set overall. So it's now 10-4 to Bedford White Eagles. So looks like a timeout's been called by White Tigers, which is very good at this point. They really need to try and change some things up, but it's unclear to me at this point whether there's anything that Bedford are doing that's necessarily putting Tigers off, but it just feel like White Tigers are just becoming a lot more disjointed than they have right in the rest of the game. Their throws aren't together as much. They're throwing a lot of balls kind of on the back foot, potentially because they feel the pressure from the counter from Bedford. But what they really need to do is make sure that they're sorting out their timing so that when they're doing those multiple attacks, they're actually getting a hit and they're not getting caught. And that also, if they are going for a throw on the back foot, they really need to sort of plant themselves and commit to it, because at the moment they're essentially just throwing it without real intention behind it. And then for Bedford, they just need to keep doing what they're doing. They're playing really well. They're keeping their composure. You can obviously, as they always are, you can tell they're very well drilled and they're playing very well together. So they just need to keep playing as they have done. And it's up to Tigers at this point to bring it to Bedford. So there's about 9.5 minutes left in this game. So enough time for 3 or 4 sets, depending on the time. But in order to bring this game back to level, Tigers need to win most of those sets. Pretty much all of them. So yeah, so Tigers, if they're to stay in this game, have to win this set. If they do not win this set, the gap is too unsurmountable for them to come back. So 3 balls to Bedford. Single from Bonsignori, no hit. And then single from Bacon. Rudland drops for the catch, but luckily for her, bounces just in front of her. Again, another single down the middle from Gower. And then Bonsignori gets Bacon as she's coming up for the attack. So Bacon, having got Bonsignori out a few times in the first half, Bonsignori is now returning the favour. So 2-ball attack. Misses all of the Bedford players. So 3 balls. So Bedford up by 1 player. Single from Town, retaliation from Hems, retaliation from Gower. Hems goes for the catch, but just too much on that ball. So Bedford up by 2. Pre-throw from Bonsignori, no hit. Gives Tigers 4, but the 4th one delayed getting onto court. 3-ball attack at 2 separate targets. Fails to find a hit. Nice dodge there from Mackings. Double counter at Town, but just a little side hop to the side just gets her out of the way. Very little energy expended. 2-ball attack from Bedford, taking out Baines. They've been absolutely hammering her with those 2-ball attacks all game, and they've had great success. So then a 3 or 4-ball attack there from Bedford takes out Soden. So yeah, Bedford just really making good with their hits at the moment. So there's 2 balls to Bedford. They're going to hold a high line, then retreat, and then a pre-throw from Josiah, misses Bruce, but then this time Bruce getting a much better height on that ball, so much more difficult for Josiah to catch, so does get the hit. Another pre-throw from Bruce, and then dodges over Gower and Town's ball, so just Bruce left in on her own. Throws cross-court at Bonsignori, but just blocked out of the way. So there's 15 seconds left on the clock, and Bedford are up by 4 players, so they're probably going to look at her, slow this down, maybe throw a safe single here. Yep, which they will, which will eat out the time, and then that is time. So Bedford take the score to 12-4. So at this point, there's not enough time left for White Tigers to bring this game back to a draw, but as I mentioned earlier, they are level with Leamington Spartans on points. So set difference is really the key here. So if they can win the next 2 sets, this would really be helpful for them in their race for third. Oh, and a lovely hit from Bacon on Bonsignori. Bonsignori caught fishing a little bit there, and it just clips her foot. And then a lovely single from Town takes out Hems while she's caught waiting for the call in the middle. So 2-ball attack, 3 with a 4-ball attack ultimately there from Tigers that fails to make a single hit. Again, as I was saying earlier, very disjointed. The 2-ball attack was nice and coordinated, but then it appeared that as if the 3rd and 4th releases weren't planned and essentially just kind of gave a lot of possession to Bedford. Single from Bacon, retaliation from Gower. Nicely dodged by Bacon this time with a nice little sidestep. So 1.5 minutes left. Single from Bruce, and then a hit. Oh, yeah. Town managing to jump over Baines' throw, and then just a cheeky little underarm throw just to hit Baines on the ankles. So Bedford up by 2 players, 1 minute 10 on the clock. Harper, who's only just come on in this set, hit out. So 4 balls to Bedford, up by 1 player. And they make a 3-ball attack on Bruce, who's caught jumping, and Town also out, I think, from a pre-throw from Bruce. Single from Mackings, and then the double counter from Bedford finishes the game. So there will be 2 more sets in this half. But a very dominant performance from Bedford in this game. So we've got Williams and Barkley coming on now for Bedford. Single from Josiah, no hit. Single return from Tigers, but no hit again. Bonsignori going for the retaliation, but no hit. So a lot of trades both sides. Single from Tigers. So a lot of singles coming either side here. Neither side really looking like they want to risk anything. So lots of safe throws either side. Not really at a target, just near the target. This works for Bedford because they're obviously already up in the set. They've already won the game. But for Tigers, particularly if they're trying to chase set difference to really get up into 3rd place, they really need to be putting a bit more energy into this game and trying to get some more sets on the board. They've got 4 now, and then there's a trade between Soden and Bonsignori, but the 2-ball attack on the other side fails to make a hit. Halfway through the set, Bedford getting out Baines, and then Williams out in return, so it is level. Single from Barkley. Retaliation from Hems, but bounces in front of Harper. Single from Rose, and then retaliation from Josiah. And then a bit of a standoff there between Barkley and Bacon in the neutral zone. Yeah, and then Bruce just throwing, again, as I said earlier, just throwing on the backtrack as if she's trying to hit out Davis, but there's not enough sort of aggression behind it. Doesn't get the hit, gives Bedford 4, which then allows them to make the hit. So there's 30 seconds left on the clock. Bedford up by 1 player. Rose's ball blocked by Harper, but again, very low, very to the side of her. Not very aggressive at target. Same in return from Harper. And then Hems at Davis, but blocked. So Bedford still up by 1. 2 ball attack at Barkley, but dodges out of the way. Gives 4 balls to Ty. There we go. And that is time. So there should be a short set now. The score being 16-4 to Bedford. Mighty Eagles over White Tigers. So a drastically different scoreline compared to the previous occasion that they played, which was 13-7. So 3 balls to Bedford, as it has been all game, with Tigers not contesting that middle ball. But then Hems gets a lovely hit on Barkley. And then Williams also out in that exchange. So suddenly Bedford Mighty Eagles are down by 2 early on in this very short set. Oh, and then Davies caught fishing a bit for Hems's pre-throw. Hems is out, but the trade is still in White Tigers' favour. And then Bonson-Yuri once again taking another catch in the neutral zone on the floor, as she loves to do. And then also manages to take the catch, the ball she's just caught, and chest pass it at Bacon. So taking out 2 of them in 1, but then does give a throw. Good to get caught then by Soden, who's caught her 3 or 4 times in this game. So Soden then coming up, getting the hit on Harper. So Tigers take the final set of the game, and the score is 16-6. So very dominant game there by Bedford Mighty Eagles, and I believe that does guarantee them the win in Women's Super League, so I believe they will be the champions. And then, yeah, a tough game for White Tigers. Just started to come apart a little bit in that second half after a very strong first half showing. And it may be that set difference that they have is a bit too much to get 3rd position now. So the next game on court 1 is going to be Storm versus Storm 2. So so just Storm are in the running for the top 5 positions, but Storm 2 have had a very good showing this season and have the potential to have one of the best performances for a second team in Women's Super League so far. So do enjoy that game. Unfortunately, we don't have any commentary for you for that game, but I will be back for the final game of Women's Super League, which will be Spartans 1 against White Tigers. But I believe they may be too much for White Tigers to do at this point. So, but we shall see. Anyway, enjoy.